Hello, and welcome to the live after show for Stormforce episode 19, the epilogue to our saga. I think it's going to be called Time Skip. So,
that's the title I gave it.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing a live after show. Hi, this is an after show. These are on Patreon normally, but this one is available to everyone because it's the end of a season. It's nice to be able to get a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff.
Do we still do our end of session things?
Sure, because actually that will cause me to take my my new rank.
Yeah, I mean, we can.
We have been doing every after show, which is going through the end of session moves.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about because, like, mechanically, some of you are no longer characters. So, So end of the session. There's end of session moves that everyone does. So we've done these in the after show every week. So everyone chooses that either they grew closer to the team, they grew into their own image of themselves, or they grew away from the team. Who wants to start?
I think I grew closer.
Okay. Who made you feel welcome?
I think the person I grew the most close to is Liam.
Okay.
He helped you face down, Skip.
Liam, do you have
And he was there with me at the end. Like, I think Liam was the one.
All right. And if you have influence, then shift the label.
Charlotte gets a crush on Liam.
Oh, no. No.
T3? Shift sparks labels.
Am I doing? Okay, I'm doing.
Yep.
Labels. Shifting.
My freak and superior are locked.
I'm feeling like a mundane up.
Ooh.
And then danger or save you down. I'm not sure.
Or
What's up, danger?
At the base.
Hmm?
Can either danger or savior move?
Yeah.
Okay. Then just pick one.
I'll drop danger.
All right.
And then
don't have to take a condition for once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can
well,
mark
we were meant
potential
to be anyway.
or clear condition.
Ooh, I think I'm going to clear the condition insecure, but I'm going to keep guilty because I
now
still
you just feel bad.
Yeah, now I just feel bad
about lobotomizing your dog AI. Okay, who else? Who knows?
I grew closer. I grew closer to pretty much everyone. Like, Casper gave me that little speech and got double sixes on it. Charlotte helped me through the thing. But I think ultimately, because it has to be the story of the reconnection of the friendship, it's got to be Liam at the end with the, no, you're still Miranda.
Liam, do you have influence?
I don't.
All right, take influence.
I lost it because of the the change, so that works out very well.
And then clear condition or mark potential.
I'm going to mark potential, and that gives me the level up. And I think thematically, like, I pick Legacy because I think I anticipate her now changing with the changes and stuff, and it ending up as a kind of, like, almost like Wonder Woman-esque. Not quite that, but like 70% there, 30% where she was eventually. But there's no way I'd bring her back because she's so far towards the end. The next level up would be retire. So in my mind, she ends up as a Legacy, but she's going to go Paragon of the City.
Okay. So you're like a Legacy for like a little bit, for like as long as Spark was the Doomed, you are the Legacy.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, effectively, like, she should have changed, like, last episode, but there was no point changing for just the one episode. So it would be a case of, like, if I played her for one episode again, she'd instantly level up. It would be pointless. So she's retiring to be a Paragon of the City, but in my head, she ends up as the Legacy for, like, 5 minutes.
So for those who don't know, there are a couple, everyone has some different versions of end of playbook moves. And there's normally one that is like you change your playbook, and so then you essentially continue on as a different character. That's what Liam has now done as the Beacon. Or you retire from the life or become a Paragon of the City. So basically you choose for yourself, like, your character is no longer this like teenage superhero that's kind of in flux. They're sort of settled into who they are, and now they're either like a hero in the city, like that's important that people know about, or they've just sort of stopped their heroing, and then it's kind of up to you which one it is. And that is what we're.
Or you've leveled up so many times you've broken the system.
Yeah, you.
My
I mean,
character's
at some
unplayable.
point, you lose the ability to like continually leveling up. You can only change playbooks once, which we broke the
Yeah.
rules for.
We broke the
so.
rules for like taking extra moves outside playbook for the last one as well. Like I literally couldn't really take, I think, anything other than change playbook. So
Yeah. All right,
Think of
Liam or
Liam and Casper.
I think I grew close to the team. It's tough. I think I'm probably leaning towards Spark
All right.
because she had nice pep talk about being a hero and stuff.
All right, Spark, do you have influence?
I do have
All right,
influence
shift
already.
some labels.
Are there any that you have locked, or do you not care?
I don't have any locked.
Ooh,
'cause
really?
I
You
never
don't-
level up. I got
Oh,
one
that's
out of
right.
those
The
before
first
I
time you were
became a
able
beacon.
to unlock any of that, yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna go in a similar route to what you gave to her, because I feel like we have kind of like the similar thing going on. Mundane up, danger down.
That doesn't work.
So you're taking condition.
Well, do we do that or do we switch it to a different one because we found out we're not supposed to take
Good choice.
conditions in the after session moves?
yeah, because
Um,
this is not meant to be punishing.
Well, I guess if you tell me what can't be moved, make it easier then if that's the route we're going.
We can't raise savior or mundane. You can't lower superior.
You could
I
lower
was surprised.
freak.
I was expecting you to reduce mundane because the conversation was about how I could still be a hero.
Yeah, but you talked about how you wanted to spend more time with your family. Like that was
That
what
is
the
true.
outcome of the conversation was, that you were like, I think I want to take time and spend time with my family.
You could lower freak on the
she-
basis of he was fighting in a dangerous way, but he wasn't fighting with the freaky powers anymore.
Yeah, we could do that. Lower freak and up mundane. Is that still possible?
Can't up mundane.
You can't up mundane.
Up savior?
then.
Yeah.
Up savior, yeah.
Can't up
Up
savior.
savior.
Those are the two you can't
Up
up.
superior!
Can't up. I thought you said you couldn't down. Yeah, I guess up superior, lower freak.
Okay, that works.
There you go.
And then you, Liam, now that we've got through that, may clear condition or mark potential.
I don't have any conditions. I'm going to mark potential, which levels me up. My first beacon level up.
Ooh.
Take a
Beacon
dog
level.
companion.
Hmm.
You
You could take the new
dog
move, come
companion.
unlucky.
Yeah.
I could take a move from my playbook and then take come unlucky. No, I left that out deliberately because
Yeah.
it's already been done.
All right, last
probably
but
what-
not least.
I would probably
Oh.
pick Suck It Domitian when you stand strong. Roll to my fire, roll plus savior instead of plus danger to directly engage a threat.
Mm.
Cool.
Which I learned as a Hawkeye quote because I'm like, what the hell is Domitian?
That makes
Sounds like
sense.
a make of dishwasher.
It turns out, I think, to be a Roman archer who would fire 3 at once, and then Hawkeye fired like 5 at once. Pakayan said, "Suck it, Domitian," and that's why that's a move in this RPG.
Good. All right. Frey, last but not least.
Well, I think in general, Frey did grow closer to the team because as the leader, like everyone worked together. But I think his particular arc in this one was growing into the image of himself, which was he sees himself as not necessarily the person that does like all the fighting. He doesn't have to do everything for himself. He can rely on his team. He can help them and support them and make sure that they do the thing and help them out when they're having identity crises or
Apparently.
going to space.
Very nice. Okay, so you shift your labels.
Yeah, I'm gonna go mundane up and danger down.
That makes a lot of
Alright.
sense.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I think the last thing is on me, which is
Yep.
at the end of the session, I have to answer the question, did you take steps to make amends for your shame?
Not really. We didn't really touch on that this episode.
I think the other piece with that, though, is you technically took the advance face your shame, right?
I I don't think I could take that. So
Oh yeah, though. Yeah.
yeah,
your
so I had-
your advancement got a little complicated.
it got a little weird. So yeah.
This game breaks after a little bit too long, and we're about at the breaking point.
Right now, there
of
is technically a
PBT.
timer in the code, which is just reverting file access in tick, 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 just ticking down until you can take the move.
I think what we did to like Jack Hackery around it made sense for the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like making the void be that dangerous and having like the joined be part of that was kind of a cool thing. I loved that the audience all were like, oh man, she's doomed too. And so they were like, oh, but you're gonna be fine. Your doom tracker's fine. I was like, oh, you don't know.
No.
I think my favorite moment too was like when she finally used it, but like it was an instinct thing where she was like, danger, go to them.
That was the getting.
And then
getting Casper
her and
right.
Liam having that moment where they looked at each other and they were flickering in and out and standing over the ledge, like that was cool.
That was the
Mhm.
moment when was that the jumping to Casper because he was fighting by himself or something?
It was both of us teleporting.
Yeah.
We both teleported, yeah.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of danger all at once.
I think that wraps the show. Some of you have taken some final advancements and retired your characters. Some of you have a little bit more to finish on your characters, perhaps.
I've just done a
Yeah.
like I have so many more moves I can take yet because I barely got an XP the whole time.
Yeah, the thing is, I
Part
don't
of the
think...
reason is that I would often shy away from things I would fail at, which is not actually how you should play the system. You should just embrace failing.
Yep. Yep.
I just don't
Like-
think that my character is particularly playable with all the moves I have now, so I think it's the best time to really relegate her.
Yeah,
So
I think
So, question: will Miranda take Mira out on a date?
I think, honestly, with Liam telling her she should, I think she'd have to end up doing so. Otherwise, Liam will not shut up.
It's
But,
like,
like,
oh, okay, I guess.
Like, are you doing it under duress? Because that sounds like the worst date that you go on.
Well, she's had a lot going on, right? She's got told that she's dead and a reincarnation of someone else.
Yeah.
Then she's
No,
had
that's
her
fine.
mum come back after never ever meeting her. Her
the
mum was
question is,
also
does
a
she have
galaxy.
feelings for Seneca?
Yeah, I think so. I think the problem area will be the fact that Seneca's like the ends justify the means, and Miranda's like, no, the means justify the ends, if anything. So I think that would be the problem area about why there might be any hesitancy.
Mhm.
But I like the idea that Miranda still has feelings anyway, and that's a problem area. Like, there's two ways this could go. She ends up on a different team and ends up doing some dodgy stuff to, like, get stuff done the easy way, and Miranda's still being the Paragons. They end up having to face off about, you know, the Batman versus Superman of, we do things different ways. Grr, how dare you. My mother.
I think, from what I know, like, of how Seneca was as a character, like, she's just happy to not have narcolepsy anymore right now. So, like, I don't think she would instinctually go out to be a hero. Like, she never intended to be a villain either. It was a product of the situation that she was in. So I think unless she had external pressure, she would just be like, I guess I'm, like, gonna graduate, like, go get my GED because I, like, slept through too much of school. So I think that's probably where she's at. That being said, she's fairly malleable as a character.
She's an NPC. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I do
There's a
wish
question.
we got to have a bit more time with Stormcrow after finally getting themselves back.
Yeah. They're pretty
Yeah.
It's like, given more time, it's like Liam would go and like say sorry for putting him in danger.
They're not mad at you. Yeah. They would be like, they would actually probably really like fondly like Liam without knowing why.
Oh,
Like, I think they have like some of these memories, but I feel like a lot of their experience in that time was really fuzzy. So I feel like they'd be like, you were really nice to me.
It's like viewed through the bird lens.
yeah. It's like rather than like proper complex memories, it's more simple like concept memories of like you were nice, you're nice, friend.
You're smaller. You're smaller than I thought you'd be, or something, you know, like, or bigger. I guess proportionally Stormcrow was like a lot bigger. You're bigger than I remember.
You fed
Stormcrow was
me.
this big
You
monster.
definitely fed me.
Hmm?
Like, you definitely fed me. That's something I remember.
They would come up to you and be like, "Do you have any snacks?" And I don't know.
I'm like,
what.
hell yeah, I do. I don't eat anymore, but I still have all this crap.
Like, Liam is instinctively just packing his pockets with snacks. He's like, I don't eat them anymore. They're just in here.
He rustles as he moves with Mars bars.
Yeah. Cool. Other questions that people have or things they want to talk about? What were some of your favorite episodes or moments in the show?
There's been so
I just
much.
like playing Claire.
I
Claire is awesome.
liked you being Claire as well. Frey did not like you being Claire.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
That was a fun interaction, just like antagonistic but trying to do the right thing, but also not very good at it at all, and morally grey. It was fun.
Yeah.
Just get poked and prodded by.
It's always fun playing essentially an omniscient NPC.
Mm-hmm.
It's also kind of useless.
The fascinating thing is when you play an NPC that can see the future, and you have to somehow make that work.
Yeah.
You do the blue. What's the oh, I keep forgetting. You do the Watchman, like, oh, he's using tachyons that go backwards in time to block my vision of the future. Like, there is the event,
Oh yeah,
and the
yeah,
event
you can
blocks
do
the
that.
thing.
You can do the forces clouded beyond this point. We really should have probably
Yeah.
prepared for serious bad things. Oh well.
She I mean the way partly I depowered her at one point, right? So like she stopped being able to do that. And
Yeah,
then
she
it
had
was
the
also
events.
I did more of the Doctor Strange thing where it's like she had just seen like in
Yeah.
which all of these things happened and there was no like way around it. Like she knew these things would happen.
Don't
and
spoilers.
so it was kind of like this sort of preconceived, like she knew she would get depowered, but in order for all of these other things to happen, she had to do it. So she like enters into that situation. And even though she's like trying to prepare for it, there's really not like anything she can do. Like just because you can see it coming doesn't mean you can stop it from happening.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, who would be best at bowling? And I was initially thinking, oh, Frey, because he knows the perfect way to get the strike. And I'm like, he doesn't have perfect control of his muscles, so he would know how to throw the ball, but he wouldn't be able to carry out the perfect action.
Yeah.
You're like, there's a universe where I get a strike, but it might not be this one.
Yeah, like, you don't have perfect control of the body, and you also can't, like, take exactly
That'd
what's
make
happening
it-
and convert that into what you do.
That'd make
Yeah.
it the worst. You'd be like, I know I can do this, but I probably won't do this.
It's like Claire's like, God, I kind of wish this was a pass it on thing and not that I have to just like live like this forever.
Yeah.
Aw.
I imagine that it's just one of the most common, like, effects of that superpower is just to send someone insane. Because if you're at all anxious, you see everything bad that's going to happen of any action you do.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Why do you think she drinks and smokes so much?
I think that's because she slept with my mum.
I think it's because
drinking
she's how she
started about
dies,
that.
and it's not from drink or smoking. So
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was one of my favorite parts. I liked other characters as
I
well.
think-
I just enjoyed letting you all kind of have at it.
Yeah, so like with the having at it bit, the first half episode, I think it was like around episode 10 with the jailbreak.
Mm-hmm.
That's when things went off a cliff in several directions and just like really, really got into the nitty gritty. Oh, this is awful.
So like one thing that I found particularly amusing is that jailbreak was planned, and I think I had it in my notes on episode
5 or 6?
7.
Okay.
Yeah, because episode 6 was the first time we dealt with Skip 1.0. So like episode 7, that was when we had the results of the poll. And so that was when I had the first notes that like Forge and Co was going to divide and conquer to stop Stormforce, and it was going to be the jailbreak. And then it didn't happen in episode 7, 8, or 9. It finally happened in episode 10.
Oh dear.
Like I couldn't get it to happen sooner than that.
And so I think you changed your plan, right? You had it happen sooner, or you forced a time skip somehow. Something happened.
No, I ended up so you dealt with skip 1.0, and then you had the Miranda's birthday. That was the thing that took so long. Yeah, so we had Miranda's birthday, and then there was all of the fallout of that because that was Miranda's birthday. That was when Charlotte left her family, and that was just like, then there was.
I really did enjoy that birthday interaction and everything around that.
The Dream Shield, so you had all of those things with Seneca.
That's two of my, like, if it wasn't a full episode, that's two of my favorite moments. One, everything related to the birthday, because the whole building up to the birthday party was great.
The birthday was so... We were trying to plan this secret birthday.
And Miranda was like, I think Frey's avoiding me. And it was like, yeah, because birthday party.
Oh, that's why I wasn't able to do the jailbreak. You snuck into Orion Corp.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well...
And then the moment...
That was the, like, I was planning on having, like, the next day be the prison break, because I think I have on here the birthday party, but then you were like, nah, we're gonna sneak into Orion Corp, and so I'm like, okay, then that took, like, a whole 2 episodes.
And that was because Liam and Miranda had disappeared to the cliff because Miranda had nearly blown up Storm Fortress.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't know, like, when you're gonna be coming back, what happened. We were like, we gotta figure out what's going on.
Yeah, we were really.
You gotta get the void stuff.
About our friend.
Yeah, we gotta get the void stuff so we can get to the void.
Yeah.
And then you tried to get there and you bounced off because I'm like, someone's trying to get in. What?
And then I think in episode 9 we finally had the start of the prison break.
Yeah.
My other
ended with that. It ended
And then
with
we finished it in episode 10.
because the ship sailed, and then I got a phone call saying my mum was in a coma, and then the watches went off, and at the end of that episode was me being like, ah.
Yep.
My other favorite moment was the interaction with Seneca when she came into my dreams for the first moment. I was like, that's a really, like, touching little scene there. Meanwhile, outside, I'm literally destroying things.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, but honestly, my favorite, like, episode would probably, I'd echo Josh in that the prison break one was really, really fun. I liked being wrong-footed by Forge like that. It was enjoyable.
It was a good middle escalation. I was like, this is the point that we need, like, you to feel like he's a threat. And that he's kind of like a problem, and also he's gonna deal with you. And then after that, it was just kind of like a direct line to dealing with Forge. But you know, then things escalated pretty intensely after that. Because that's
I
when,
like that his motives were because of Hex, which tied it all together.
Yep. Everyone's backstories ended up weaving very nicely together into one thing.
I worked pretty hard on that.
Ooh, yeah. People want to know, can we know anything about Bastion, or should we, like, is that...
There isn't anything to know.
There's absolutely nothing. Like, here's fun fact. There is absolutely nothing to know about Bastion. I have built 0 pieces of information for him. I also don't know who Miranda's dad is. I have, like, vague concepts that if I ever needed a character, they're there. They're there to, like, fill a function, but I don't...
He's the one who makes Frey's scarves.
Yeah.
Yes.
He makes scarves for a living now? I like that.
He's basically like the armor character. Like, he builds the things for the team and supports them.
So that's how Bastion ties in. He makes the bandanas. It all fits
and
together.
And it's called Bastion because he made the hideout, right?
Oh god, and that's what because then after I'm just looking back at my notes, like after the fight, then you were like, okay, and then Stormcrow was on the cliff and you're like, oh shit, and then you just dimension travel and it was just a quick road to Doomtown.
Yep. I did really enjoy throughout the whole campaign the whole Doom dynamic. It worked out the best way. But it got pushed right to the edge, and then all the stresses were put on it at the end with like, oh, now I'm joined to someone else who can also use this, and now we both die if it goes wrong.
Yeah, like I suggested that because honestly, it got to the end and it felt like there was hope, and I was like, it feels like there's hope. What if we raise the stakes again? Let's double down.
The thing of like, there was a brief moment after the moment of truth that saved me a Doom sign where I'm like, we're more on track now, and then shortly after I'm like, It looks like we're on track, but if you count the fact that we've had a free doom sign removed, we're not on track.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely threw some things off a little bit.
I enjoyed that moment of truth. That was my favorite use of my moment of truth.
It was a good moment of
It was
truth.
nice. And it worked in so well with how the rest of the plot worked, even before we understood what was going on. Because I didn't know it was Hex at that point, and it was related to your powers.
Yeah. So I was effectively wrestling with my mum.
I would have to like look back. So these are the secrets of the GM, is that all of this beautiful like plot things, like backstories connecting with each other, was not how it was originally designed. I had very little when I originally designed it, and then I was like, what if? And I like started pulling on threads and started like weaving them together into something. So like part of me almost wants to go back into the Google Doc and just pull up a few like snapshots of version history for it. And I might be able to do that for the Patreon notes, because
Ooh.
I think I can potentially pull up the original version of the notes that I made for the show, which would definitely not have had all of this information in it. I wonder. Let's see. Where are my version histories? So I'll see what I can find. Huh?
I'm definitely intrigued by this. Yeah, I want to see what like the way it all came together.
I'll be honest. It was a very good weaving. You couldn't spot the seams. It was a very good weaving of every single backstory in together that felt like it was meant that way and natural.
I feel like this show we had the most crying in.
Okay, March 23rd does not count as a blank document. I mean, like the very first document, I have Astro Technologies, scientists not yet named, and then Claire's history. I didn't even have. I had parent one. Originally, both of Miranda's parents were on the team.
Bastion's my dad.
No, originally the alien was on the team, but he wasn't an alien. I didn't really know what he was, and then I was like, this is way better. He's an alien. And Bastion didn't exist, which is why he's the least interesting character.
And then you were like, wait, what if your mum went to space and had a fling as Rebound and ended up pregnant? Perfect.
Yeah, that was basically that was it in the moment. So I'll see if I can pull up a couple of like version histories. When was our first episode?
Oh, I can look this
That'll
up.
be at the beginning.
Oh, I actually have the notes. I have like everything dated for
The date
mine.
of the first episode is the 17th of March.
Okay. So
Yep, 17th of March.
weirdly enough, I didn't make this document until the 23rd of March, so I actually didn't even have anything when I started. Those notes must be somewhere else.
I imagine you had some physical notes.
Probably.
I mean, something like masks, right? It's useful to get the characters to bounce off each other and have like an episode or two before figuring out how you really want the stories to connect.
Yeah.
You have to see what matters to the cast and how they're going to interact and what will and won't work.
Yeah.
I think I have a second document that might have some information in it that I can look and see if I can find anything. But yeah, so then like I feel like it was like episode 10 was probably when those things started like hitting the ground. So now I'm really curious. Now I'm just like looking back.
That's when it all came together.
Well, Frey was in jail on episode 9. And then episode 10 was when Frey used his moment of truth too.
And swapped, and it's every time I went to the cliff, everyone would just commit crimes.
Everyone? Sorry.
Okay, every time I went to the cliff, members of the team would commit crime.
You can point them out, like that's fine by me. Frey is not the best person ever.
Well, I mean,
then-
person ever, I agree. But
And then when the rest of the
Not
team
really.
goes to the void, that's when Burnout commits all the crimes.
yeah.
The only crime I did was impersonating Frey.
You did also teleport out to police custody.
Yeah,
Not a
that
crime.
part was actually a crime.
But no, you have a defense. You have a defense of what is it? What's the term?
you don't have
defense
defense of it out of breaking out of
No,
jail.
you do. You have defense for any crime, provided it's defense of others. If the crime that you're effectively stopping is a greater crime, like that's what you argue in the case of like self-defense, right? Or if you protect someone
I
else.
broke out of jail to save someone else.
Yeah, you literally can do that. You'd have to prove it. Like,
Yeah.
It would be a very, very weird situation, but you can do that. Like, that's legit loud. Like, you can say, I had to steal a car to save someone because I knew someone was being attacked, and, like, that's allowed. You could say, I knew someone was being attacked and I had to break out of jail. Why didn't you tell the officers? No, that would have been more reasonable, and then that wouldn't count. But if, like, the officers were away, the phones were dead, and you had to break out of jail, maybe?
Yeah,
It's a
in this
very-
instance, I don't think that defense stands.
I think it does. I mean, when it could do it, teleport.
All right.
Falsely confessing to a crime, which is presumably...
I
No,
would
that
like
was
you
the
to know
one
that
impersonating
it
Frey, yeah.
was April-ish, like late April was when I had decided that Spark
The chip?
was the chip.
Yeah, that was
that
like-
was
I had question marks. Was Spark an accident? So I'm like, you skip
That was-
1.0, all her bad stuff was also a question.
I like the fact
had.
that you have written in the backstories, it doesn't matter, like, the conception of each individual character.
I still have
think
a couple of notes. For example, Frey clone question mark. That's a thing I never got to deal with.
end up happening.
Oh, with the DNA
Yeah.
raping thing that happened episode 1 that was weird.
Episode 1, I even have like a note on my thing that says Frey DNA attained. That's one of my notes.
Oh no, I'm imagining there's a really dark
Mission
subplot.
accomplished.
There's a dark subplot where you come back from your time away and you open your like closet and you move all the stuff away and you like hold up like this tiny little feature like, this was a bad idea. This is a very
my
bad
goodness.
idea.
Hex's Miranda's parents were dead for a very long time.
I mean, so is Miranda.
Hex
Oh,
was
yeah,
that
just
was-
like just straight up was dead. Like I didn't even have her as like connected to the void until a lot later on.
I forgot that was the initial way that it was framed, is that like they just died in an accident, probably caused by Miranda.
I basically said, her parents are dead, probably, question mark. How did she get here? I don't know, question mark. She got tattoos, they help her control her powers. That wasn't a question mark. She was at an
Basically
orphanage from
all
like
you
age
gave me.
6 or 8.
I think the moment when you told when the chip stuff was mentioned to Spark, that was a really emotional episode for me, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
It like went to places that I was like, oh man, like how do you act like you're an 8-year-old who's been told that, you know, you have a chip that's basically
Wait, were you
holding
8?
your
I thought you were 12.
personality? I couldn't hear you.
Wait,
I was talking.
were you 8? I thought you were 12.
Or 12, sorry.
Okay, I was like, wait, have I got your age wrong this entire time?
No, 12, yeah. She
That
was,
means she'd aged 10 years in the void, which would be most of her life.
she was like 6, or was it like 4 or 6 whenever she had the chip installed?
Yeah, she was like 4. Young enough that she wouldn't really have remembered anything either way. So yeah, I'll pull up some of these notes for you. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad it seemed seamless because you all gave me so much to work with that I just like wanted to keep pulling things together. I think one thing I wish I had figured out a way, but it was the tricky part, and this is like maybe my suggestion for anyone who's running the system, is having the doomed and the brain is going to give you a difficult time balancing the doom and the shame. Because they both like have a similar sort of mechanical concept, and I never found a way to tie them together. So we ended up like not really ever dealing with the shame, and then kind of just focusing on the doom because it has this much more pressing, like you're gonna die aspect to it. And that was the one thing. Like I kept trying to find ways to pull them together, and I never like really felt
Yeah.
like it would work.
I think the other
So-
alternative...
That was one thing that I was worried about with being the Doomed, is I felt like the Doom might kind of override everyone else's plots, but then you ended up just tying everyone else's plots into it, so it worked out.
I think the other
It was
I
alternative...
think it worked out. I think it all ended up well because we did the epilogue. I think we had a really good culmination because we ended the doom and then we got to end the shame, and I think like that made it.
You all had fun, and I think everyone still got to like. I hope you all had fun. Everyone still got to like portray their characters and like play with a lot of the things, but that was just like the one piece that I tried and like never fully succeeded at to making it.
I think the way that you would have maybe could have tied it in with the story that you currently had with the Doom was Mateo was really good with like electronic stuff, and I think maybe he could have controlled Skip.
I
and
think
then
that
had-
would've-
I had that.
had learned some new information about my character that he could have used to his advantage.
I had those a few times, and I was probably going to lean into that, but then you became the joined, and I was like, you have too much going on now.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that would
have your
reduce the
brain taken
agency.
over by an
Yeah,
AI.
I was thinking that like you could include Skip there, but the way I was imagining it's like I was thinking how would it work, and it would probably just be like you turn up and Skip is also there as like a mini boss, and I'm like, I feel
think
like
that
Skip
reduces
is more than a mini
it
boss.
reduces like her subplot and her playbook subplot to a cliff note, and I think it reduces the agency. I think you did the right by not doing that. Honestly, I think that instead of tying them together, probably deliberately run them as two things that are big things and make the group constantly pick between them. Like run it.
Yeah, that was the
deliberate
other
choice.
inclination. It's just
Like, make a decision.
it's hard. One, it's hard to do that, and two, there's only so much time.
Yeah.
And I think the thing about the Doomed in particular is that unlike the Shame, the Doom has an actual clock to it, like this literal, like you're going to die, which escalates the need for people to deal with that. So I like put Skip in, like we had Skip come in pretty early on. And that was just not a thing I could ever get you to really bite on, because the focus was always like, oh, he's going to die. This seems less important.
Well,
so
I think-
unless I like constantly escalated that, it wouldn't have.
I think the nature is it was never fully brought up to us how like intricate it was. Like my character knew from backstory, but how intricate that was to her Shame, like how ashamed she was of it. I think the impression to everyone else was generally like it is a thing in the backstory. So
that's still a character choice, whether in this kid's specifically
that's
that like
I think why we didn't
Charlotte was more focused on the Doomed anyway. I was like, you know what, I'm not going to force it.
I think
we'll deal with it later.
I think part of the
I think that also from my perspective too, that I think Charlotte and Liam are so similar in the sense that they will put their own needs behind others. So like the fact that Liam is in the situation that he is in foreshadows like anything that, you know, Charlotte's going through, even the chip that's in her head and all this other stuff, and her uncle, like saving Liam was always at the forefront, especially since Miranda like is her best friend and who she looks up to is telling her that she's worried. I think it just seems so minuscule. And then when we terminated it, she's like, yeah, it's fine. It's all done. We're good.
Yeah. Like, I think it would probably work fine if it wasn't a show where we had also a ticking clock on how many episodes we have. Like, if you're like, we can stretch or reduce, or we can go on more. Like, if you're not doing it as a show, I think it might have worked more.
Some of it is I wanted to honor the character choice that like Maggie you were making with that this is more important to my character. And so I kept it as something that was looming in the background. And I really actually was sitting on like, if you ever really dramatically failed like a powers roll potentially, like there was a good chance that Skip was going to like try and take over your brain or like take over the mech. Like I had it there as a potential escalation for a situation, but when that was not the thing that you as players were interested in, I didn't want to force you to be interested in it.
Oh, totally. I don't think that, from my point of view from outside, that it felt at all like we had missed an important plot point or missed a subplot that was looming or anything. It was just a thing that ended up not making it into the narrative because we had no time.
But it
and
did.
That's the good thing about this final episode is we got to wrap that up.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to spend 18 weeks getting you there. It's like you found him, he's in space.
That 5 minutes was genius, because otherwise it would have been another 8 episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're cutting to it. You've got all the information that you need. We're assuming you've done it. Media res on this shit. So yeah.
Otherwise, it
I
would
really
have been, you know, Cambridge Kinetics. They have some information. He's been hacking in there and using them and stuff. And it would be Casper and Charlotte would go, let's break in after hours. They'd break in. Something would go wrong. Casper would touch something. He'd end up with his powers going wrong. Charlotte would have to get away. He would get arrested. And then there would be a whole,
we don't have to break
Miranda
in now.
would...
I work there.
Yeah, but that's because we were like doing it as the TLDR. I'm saying that we would totally redo press choices, and it would end up as Josh said, 8 episodes of bad choices.
Yeah. I like that we got to show an episode where we were all very competent together. I think we had one early on that was like that too with the zoo. We were pretty competent in that fight. We were able to take the foe out pretty quickly. So there's this like, it was a good like climax of like, here's where we could be, and then like chaos ensuing, and then like this crazy things happening, and then culminating and fixing that, and then showing off like, here's what we could be as a group together, and kind of showing the future, which I really liked. And I'm gonna miss playing this character. I really love Spark.
I get
I
to be
loved
the
it.
tech person next.
Yeah, that's true. You do get to like we were like swapping. Well, I'm like playing something completely different.
You say that, Layla.
No, yeah, I'm playing something
I've
different
never
than Charlotte.
played
I was saying something different.
main
Yeah,
fighter
to
melee
Charlotte,
combatant
sorry.
before.
I did have to laugh when you said, I've never played like a fighter before. We're like, what?
I forgot about Layla. Yeah,
50-something episodes of Layla.
I know, and I don't know why.
We've done a whole 3
lot of fun.
different shows. It's hard to keep track.
I enjoy playing. Masks is a solid system. There are a couple of things that I would like. Sometimes I would like a little bit more of an actual damage system in combination with the conditions, but for the most part,
I liked it because it felt
Like-
and I'm also a type of person who likes systems like this that you
Mhm,
choose
mhm.
when you want to die type of thing.
Yeah.
I really think that the condition system was really cool. Maybe having some other options might be neat.
I
but
think the condition system was a massive improvement on Monster Hearts.
yeah, it's really neat.
I
And I
think
think
Masks and Monster Hearts need to swap damage systems, or they should
Yeah.
take the Mask system, because conditions are so like smart in how it works.
Well, I like
Mhm.
the fact
Makes-
that there's a move in the system which I took, which didn't come up today, which is damaged, which is a newborn ability, and the newborn has ability damage because it's the idea of like it's not necessarily like human or whatever. It's been created so you can inflict massive damage and it has to repair. Like it could be a robot or it could be someone who's able to regenerate. My idea for Miranda was that her consciousness after having her body destroyed and then rebuilt is just able existing without her body. So like I was going to be like, if she gets severely injured in an attack or powerful blow, she can like get a massive lethal injury, and she'll be walking around like, I don't know what to do right now. You can see my spleen. This is going to be difficult to heal. And that is a thing you can take, and that gives you an extra box in your condition monitor. And I think that having that naturally there would have been a nice one. So that in a fight, you can literally take a damage, and like you can then be like, this is narrative for me right here. And then the other ones can be, more this is the damage getting worse or affecting me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess as well as afraid, angry, guilty, insecure, hopeless, you could have just like physically hurt.
Yeah, which is the newborn one, which I took, and after taking it, I was like, honestly, I think everyone should have one, and the newborn should maybe have a second one.
Yeah, that's the main thought. I think, it's a PBTA system, so it's always a little like, I don't know, let's do this. This sounds right.
yeah, I liked it though. It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, now let's go get some crunchy crunch going on.
Yeah,
Oh
we're
God,
moving
yeah.
on to Shadowrun 6th edition, which is just madness. And I think already up on our YouTube channel, if you want to go check it out, we have our last episode, or our episode previously of Game of Thrones, if you didn't catch yesterday's show. Or if you caught yesterday's show and you really enjoyed it, you can go over there and give it a good old thumbs up. And now apparently you have to like subscribe on YouTube and hit a bell, and then there's a pop-up from the bell that you have to select which option. It's like, why can't I just subscribe and get a notification from the thing that I subscribe to?
Yeah, you gotta set it to like it's like notify me, and then it's like, but actually
3
notify me.
options
Like,
to
okay,
notify
yeah,
you.
no.
Yeah.
Every
I
now and again.
think I would like to speak on all behalf of us, and I think we all agree when... Fuck YouTube.
Now we're gonna get demonetized.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that Emma Blackery made an entire song about fuck Google Plus, and she had a lovely talk with Google, so I think we're probably okay. Anyway,
Big thank you to all of our patrons. You help support the show and help us pay our cast. So thank you. I think
you like
that's probably
videos
the
like
biggest
this,
thing.
consider supporting on Patreon so you can get access to every single after show that
You
we
can
have,
binge
not
watch
just the last
200.
ones.
interesting note, technically the YouTube channel, Roll4It, is demonetized. They refused us for monetization, and there's no way to appeal that. And I was like, why would you do that? We're an RPG channel. And I was like, how do I appeal? There's no way to appeal. However, if you get an MCN, they do their own monetization system. So we bypassed it, but if we ever lose an MCN, we can never remonetize without having to talk to Google, which I think they're a little bit better at now. But like, actually, technically, as independent channel, we are not monetized.
Yeah, we actually had a not super recently, but we had to go swap. We had a moment where we had to talk about swapping MCNs. So, or MCNs. soon.
That
So-
sounds ridiculous, and I'm
All
sorry.
the
I
weird
think that was-
admin stuff that happens internally.
I don't think we swapped NCNs. I think it was I swapped NCNs.
No, we had a discussion
after.
of whether we wanted to or
Oh,
not.
okay. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, we decided that, like, you know what? It's not even worth considering this because the risk that it could go wrong and we end up back with just YouTube and demonetized is a problem. So this is why platforms like Patreon are important. Diversify your revenue streams, people. Don't trust Google. Because they might put the subscribe button behind 3 bells.
Also,
Anyway.
sometimes our after shows just become chaos, and it's not even
Yeah.
about
This
Yeah,
is
sometimes
actually
we just-
super normal for an after
this. Was
show.
This is-
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is an after season where we just
ramble.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got to go do a thing. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. This has been the After Show. It's available to everyone. If you want to catch after shows for normal shows that are not the end of a season, you can do so at Patreon at the $5 tier and above. You can get access to all the after shows. We're going to go. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, may the dice roll over in your favor.
play the sneak, the teaser.
I will play
again.
the sneak peek.
Okay.
Peek sneak time.
Stealth Mountain.
Sneak peek.
I approve that message.